Welcome to the December edition of the POG Show, the news and information podcast for the city of Port Orange. I'm your host, Mike Springer, Public Information Officer for the city of Port Orange. And today I'm joined by my counterpart over at the Port Orange Police Department, Mike Wallace, the Public Affairs Officer. Welcome, Mike.
Good morning, Mike. How are you?
Good. How's everything going with you around the holidays?
Busy. It's actually really been a busy couple of weeks.
As you got Kalia in town, they're doing their review and everything. So.
Yes, yeah. The PD is very busy at this time of the year.
And a lot of people are busy too, especially with the holiday shopping, trying to get those gifts ready for Christmas, get all that shopping done. You know, I know you have a lot of experience in investigations and detective work, scams and frauds like that. You know, as we're getting ready for our holiday season right now, a lot of people are going to be going to the malls to do some shopping there at the malls and the outlets. When they're going out and doing that shopping, what advice would you give them? What are things that they can do to remain vigilant and minimize their risk of becoming a victim of some kind of crime this holiday season when they're shopping?
There's so much I can say about that. I mean, as you know, the shopping for the holiday season can be a lot of fun. There's a ton of excitement. You're hunting for deals, roaming around the stores, looking for that perfect gift. But it can also expose you to a lot of risks. There are some common sense tips I'd like to discuss with people today, if you're okay with that. A lot of things are often overlooked or just plain forgotten while you're doing your holiday shopping. And there are things that you should know, but you often get lost in that mix while you're out there shopping and you're trying to think about everything that you should do, but you don't because you're out there looking for that perfect gift for someone. That's why I came here today. I really wanted to speak to somebody about that and see if we get it out there to our residents so that they know. I want to make sure that they're all safe and they get home and they have fun and they do find that perfect gift without any issues.
Yeah. What would be your advice for people, you know, if we're going out, I'm going to go to the mall tonight to do some holiday shopping. What are some things I should do when I go to the mall or the outlets tonight to make sure that I'm, you know, vigilant, aware of my surroundings, and I'm not going to make myself a target?
Again, a lot of common sense stuff. I mean, before you head out to the store, let someone know where you're going. You know, plan your trip. Let them know what you're going to be doing. Try to have your cell phone charged. You want to be able to stay in touch with your loved ones and let them know where you're at all times. I mean, then somebody can retrace your steps, say you get late or your car breaks down or something worse may happen. They have a better idea of where to start looking.
You know, when I go out to the stores around this time, I see a lot of people on their phones. They're looking down at their phones. Does that make them targets potentially for people who may pickpocket or anything like that? Or
you want to stay aware because the criminals are out there. They're going to be looking for stuff. If you're out walking around in the store, you have your phone in your hand, but you leave your purse unattended, say in the shopping cart, you're leaving yourself a target. So try to, you know, pay attention to where you are and keep an eye on the surroundings to see if anybody's watching you or taking an opportunity that normally they wouldn't have if you were paying attention.
What about when it comes to parking? Is there any places you would recommend people focus on when they try to find a parking spot to kind of be in a place that's a little bit better off?
Absolutely. I always tell people try to park as close to the store as you can. I know when it's busy, that's difficult. And if that's the case where you get there and they're parked, so many cars are parked up towards the front of the store that you can't get a spot. Find a well-lit spot, something that's monitored. Many of the stores these days, you'll see signs on the light poles that'll tell you they're on the video surveillance or, you know, that they're watching, that there's security in the area. I try to tell people to park next to that, park where there are other cars. And see where the people are coming in and out of stores. You want to park where it's monitored and there are people around.
You know, I know if you're like a last minute shopper like I tend to be, you may be doing 3 or 4 stores in a night to try to get everything done. So your car is going to fill up with a lot of gifts and items. What do you do? Because, you know, I'm going to have a lot of gifts in the back of my car. I'm going to be going to the store for an hour, half an hour. What do I do so I don't have somebody see my car with all these gifts in it and make it sit kind of an attractive target for maybe a burglar?
Well, luckily for us in Florida, a lot of us tint our windows, you know, keeps the car cooler during the hot months. In that case, even I'll use myself for an example. I drive an SUV sometimes. I'll take that out, but I always keep a dark colored blanket in the car because there are not at every time that you go out shopping that you can actually use that hatch cover in the back of your car to cover things because you might have too many things. Take the dark covered blanket, cover your items. You want to conceal them best you can. Lock them in the trunk, lock them in the hatch. Just make sure they're out of view. You don't want to leave anything in plain view where people can see it. It just gives them more temptation to either try to open your door, smash a window to get what you have inside that vehicle.
This time of year, what is the most common kind of crime that you all see? Is it the smash and grab? Is it the pickpocket? What tends to be the bigger commonality with crime this
A
time of year?
mix of crimes of opportunity. I mean, the purses in the shopping carts being left open, um, theft from the vehicles when people are bouncing from store to store, like you said. They'll go to multiple stores in an evening and they'll have all of their products in the car. When they're done at one store, they'll see them. They'll go break in. Again, it leads back to that whole common sense of try to lock it up, put it away. If you're going to bring your purse, make sure you monitor it. I would put it in the shopping cart. A lot of people use the safety straps for the seat belts for the children. They'll lock the purse up with that, make sure it's zipped or closed. But it's usually a mix of crimes. This time of the year, you'll see a lot of shoplifting. So we deal with that on a frequent basis.
And then for people who may not want to go out and shop in a physical store because they don't want to deal with the crowds, kind of avoid all that, the ones who are going to focus on doing their shopping online, what are some tips you have for them to make sure that when they're doing that online shopping, they're safe, they're not being taken advantage of by any kind of scammers out there?
There's so many things you can say about online shopping. When you shop online, try to stick to retailers and you've shopped with in the past. You obviously, I mean, a lot of people these days are using the online shopping instead of going to the stores. That's the best thing I can tell you. I mean, if you're going to go to Walmart.com or Target, those retailers are usually safe. Try to use the ones that you know. If you're going to use a internet connection, don't try to use an open source. Like if you're sitting at like Starbucks, you don't want to use somebody's free IP, websites and IP addresses and everything to get on. So make sure you have a secure internet connection when you connect to the Wi-Fi in public places, and always use like strong passwords. So if you get a recommended from Target, use a strong password. I always do that. Something that's good to protect yourself.
Let's say something does happen where I end up becoming a victim of a scam there online. What's the best thing for me to do at that point? What steps should I take at that point if I realize that I've fallen victim to some kind of scam online?
If you realize that and you see that they're billing you for something that you didn't have, immediately reach out to your card holder, the banking institution that you used. If it's a credit card, you're usually much safer than you were with a debit card. The credit card companies usually work immediately to get you your money back. Debit cards are a little bit more difficult at times with the banks to get your money back. So I would say notify the card holder, and then, of course, notify us immediately so we can start investigating as to what happened. Because even if it didn't happen nearby, we can assist by doing what we call a police assist report. So it's all documented when you need it for the banking institution.
Is that becoming the more prevalent trend you're seeing, is the online scams, or is there still some of the stuff that's happening in the malls and in person still happening, or is it more has it migrated more to the online arena now for criminals? Are they kind of focusing more on that now than necessarily the physical
You
aspect?
certainly see the online fraud a lot more often, but it's still a good mix of the two.
Any other advice you want to share with Mike, with people out there, just in case they are doing their holiday shopping, what they should be aware of, what they should consider when they go out and shop?
Well, again, that would be two different things if you were talking about online or you were talking in person. Do you want to go over one or the other?
Both of them. Yeah, if you want to just hit both. Like if you're going out shopping, what are some things you'd want to just hit home with and help them to remember?
Besides parking close, I mean, if you're going to be walking into the store and you're a solo person, I know a lot of people, they'll hear the car alarms in the parking lot and they don't think anybody's looking. But as well as I do, if you hear a car alarm, the first thing you do is turn your head. So I always say that the criminals are looking for that as well. So when you lock up your car, besides covering those products or locking them in the back of the car, go ahead and hit your audible alarm if you have a keypad. If you have the fob in your hand and you can make that sound, somebody's going to see an alarm and they're going to know you have an alarm in your car. So go ahead and hit it. It's never going to hurt. Hit that panic button. Maybe set the alarm off once, real brief. But they'll know that you can make noise if something happens. So they'll tend to stay away from your car. It's almost like having security camera signs in front of your house. It's a good thing to deter criminals. Most importantly, as always, lock the car, like we said. That's really important.
Is that what you see the most? Is it just the unlocked cars? Is it kind of the crime of opportunity that seems to happen the most, is where somebody's left their car unlocked and they have a purse on the front seat or gifts in the back seat? Is that tend to be kind of what we're seeing a lot of, is that crime of opportunity, people taking advantage of
We
people
do
not locking
quite
up.
often, yes. You'll see that a lot of people forget to lock their cars, but that goes again with all that excitement of running around at the stores. You forget the common sense stuff. You're walking away from your car. It's convenient. You're at the store. You want to run inside. You just totally forget to lock the car. Make sure you lock that car, because today people are looking for that.
And what about online? Any other tips you want to give people when they do their online shopping, whether they're going through Amazon or Walmart, Target, doing any of that kind of shopping? What should they do for online shopping to remain?
If it seems too good to be true, it most likely is. Try to stay away from that. If it's a new website to you, do your research. You can Google just like anybody else. Do some research on the company itself. See what they're rated at. People will do reviews. If you see something that's normally $100 and it's $10 on a flash sale, you know there's something wrong. I personally stay away from stuff like that. I don't want to take a chance. When you're shopping, if you're going to go to a website, look at the beginning of that web address. If it's HTTPS or it's HTTP, you want the S, because you can relate that in your own mind. Think of that S as it's secure. So look for that. Very important. Make sure that you keep all your records and receipts, whether you buy online or in a store, because without that, a lot of the times the stores have issues doing any returns for you, exchanges. Always, if you're shopping online, make a purchase, immediately check your bank statements when you get a chance, just to make sure that you were charged the correct amount, nothing was done wrong. These are important things that people don't normally think about immediately when they get off of the internet, but you just made that great purchase. Just make sure that great purchase was real.
Well, Mike, those are all fantastic tips and advice. So I appreciate you coming down, giving that out here for this holiday season as people get ready to do their shopping. Thank you again. That was Mike Wallace, the Public Affairs Officer for the Port Orange Police Department, with those holiday tips to just make sure that you are staying safe, whether you're going to be doing your shopping at the stores this year or online, or a little bit of both. But a lot of good advice, a lot of good information there, Mike. And I'm sure you're going to have a lot of that up there on the Port Orange Police Department social media pages too, just, as we head in further into that Christmas holiday, so people are ready, prepared to be safe this time of year. So thank you again for stopping by, and Mick, take us on out.